Wait a few more minutes, guys.
Group of people. The term all is very simple to understand, hence why I'm speaking slowly, so maybe you'll get it. So here's the definition. So if saying that all lives matter triggers you so much, then maybe Black Lives really don't matter to you at all. Get up close and let the Glock 22 pop out at your eyes. I'm with the game, and it's gonna be a ride. Yeah, so I can safely speak for myself and quite a few other.
All right, guys. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna watch a video that you're gonna have an essay that's due on Sunday. Okay, so we're gonna watch that, and then we'll go through 2 lessons 1 and 2, and that'll be class today, guys. So let me go ahead and share my screen here real quick. We'll go ahead and get started. It's by Jamie Oliver, the video.
If you're using that messy pile of plastic containers to store food, I've got something that's going to let you clean.
Sadly, in the next 18 minutes when I do our chat, 4 Americans that are alive will be dead through the food that they eat. My name's Jamie Oliver. I'm 34 years old. I'm from Essex, and I worked fairly tirelessly to save my own way. I'm not a doctor. I'm a chef. I don't have expensive equipment or medicine. I use information, education. I profoundly believe that the power of food has a primal place in our homes that binds us to the best bits of life. We have an awful, awful reality right now. America, you're at the top of your game. This is one of the most unhealthy countries in the world. Can I please just see a raise of hands for how many of you have children in this room today? Please put your hands up. Aunties, uncles, you can continue to put your hands up. Aunties and uncles as well? Most of you. Okay. We, the adults of the last 4 generations, have blessed our children with the destiny of a shorter lifespan than their own parents. Your child will live a life 10 years younger than you because of the landscape of food that we've built around them. 2/3 of this room today in America are statistically overweight or obese. You lot, you're all right, but we'll get you eventually, don't worry. Right? The statistics of bad health are clear, very clear. We spend our lives being paranoid about death, murder, homicide, you name it. It's on the front page of every paper, CNN. Look at homicide at the bottom, for God's sake. Right? Every single one of those ones in the red is a diet-related disease. Any doctor, any specialist will tell you that. Fact. Diet-related disease is the biggest killer in the United States right now, here today. This is a global problem. It's a catastrophe. It's sweeping the world. England is right behind you, as usual. I know they were close, but not that close. We need a revolution. Mexico, Australia, Germany, India, China, all have massive problems with obesity and bad health. Think about smoking. It costs way less than obesity now. Obesity costs you Americans 10% of your healthcare bills, $150 billion a year. In 10 years, it's set to double, $300 billion a year. And let's be honest, guys, we ain't got that cash. I came here to start a food revolution that I so profoundly believe in. We need it. The time is now. We're in a tipping point moment. I've been doing this for 7 years. I've been trying in America for 7 years. Now is the time when it's ripe for the picking. I went to the eye of a storm. I went to West Virginia, the most unhealthy state in America, or it was last year. We've got a new one this year, but we'll work on that next season. Huntington, West Virginia, beautiful town. I wanted to put heart and soul and people around the statistics that we've become used to. I want to introduce you to some of the people that are your children. I want to show a picture of my friend Brittany. She's 16 years old. She's got 6 years to live because of the food that she's eaten. She's the third generation of Americans that hasn't grown up in a food environment or in school, or her mum, or her mum's mum. She has 6 years to live. She's eating her liver to death. Stacey, the Edwards family. This is a normal family, guys. Stacey does her best, but she's third generation as well. She was never taught to cook at home or at school. The family's obese. Justin here, 12 years old. He's 350 pounds. He gets bullied, for God's sake. The daughter there, Katie, she's 4 years old. She's obese before she even gets to primary school. Marissa, she's all right. She's one of your lot. But you know what? Her father, who was obese, died in her arms. And then the second most important man in her life, her uncle, died of obesity. And now her stepdad is obese. You see, the thing is, obesity and diet-related disease doesn't just hurt the people that have it, it's all of their friends, families, brothers, sisters. Pastor Steve, an inspirational man, one of my early allies in Huntington, West Virginia. He's at the sharp knife edge of this problem. He has to bury the people, okay? And he's fed up with it. He's fed up with burying his friends, his family, his community. Come winter, 3 times as many people die. He's sick of it. This is preventable disease, waste of life. By the way, this is what they get buried in. We're not geared up to do this. Can't even get them out the door, and I'm being serious. Can't even get them there, forklift. Okay, I see it as a triangle, okay? This is our landscape of food. I need you to understand it. You've probably heard all this before, but let's just go back over it. Over the last 30 years, what's happened that's ripped the heart out of this country? Let's be frank and honest. Well, modern day life. Let's start with the main street. Fast food has taken over the whole country. We know that. The big brands are some of the most important powers, powerful powers in this country. Supermarkets as well. Big companies. 30 years ago, most of the food was largely local and largely fresh. Now, it's largely extra ingredients, and you know the rest of the story. Portion size is obviously a massive, massive problem. Labeling is a massive problem. The labeling in this country is a disgrace. They want to self-police themselves. The industry want to self-police themselves. What, in this current climate? They don't deserve it. How can you say something is low fat when it's full of so much sugar? Home. The biggest problem with the home is that used to be the heart of passing on food culture, what made our society. That ain't happening anymore. And you know what, as we go to work and as life changes and as life always evolves, we kind of have to look at it holistically, step back for a moment and readdress the balance. It ain't happening, hasn't happened for 30 years, okay? I want to show you a situation that is very normal right now, the Edwards family. Let's have a talk. This stuff goes through you and your family's body every week. And I need you to know that this is going to kill your children early. How are you feeling?
I'm just feeling really sad and depressed right now. That, you know, I want my kids to succeed in life, and this isn't going to get them there. But I'm killing them.
Yes, you are. You are. But we can stop that. Normal. Let's get on schools. Something that I'm fairly much a specialist in. Okay, school. So what is school? Who invented it? What's the purpose of school? School was always invented to arm us with the tools to make us creative, be able to do wonderful things, make us earn a living, etc., etc., etc. You know, it's been kind of in this sort of tight box for a long, long time, okay? But we haven't really evolved it to deal with the health catastrophes of America, okay? School food is something that most kids, 31 million a day actually, have twice a day, more than often, breakfast and lunch, 180 days of the year. So you could say that school food is quite important, really, judging the circumstances. Before I crack into my rant, which I'm sure you're waiting for, I need to say one thing, and it's so important in hopefully the magic that happens and unfolds in the next 3 months. The lunch cooks of America, I offer myself as their ambassador. I'm not slagging them off. They're doing the best they can do. They're doing their best. But they're doing what they're told, and what they're being told to do is wrong. The system is highly run by accountants. There's not enough or any food knowledgeable people in the business. There's a problem. If you're not can dive and write different things around things. If you're an accountant and a box ticker, the only thing you can do in these circumstances is buy cheaper shit. Now, the reality is the food that your kids get every day is fast food. It's highly processed. There's not enough fresh food in there at all. E numbers, ingredients you wouldn't believe. There's not enough veggies at all. French fries are considered a vegetable. Pizza for breakfast. They don't even get given crockery. Knives and forks, no, they're too dangerous. There's scissors in the classroom, but knives and forks, no. And the way I look at it is if you don't have knives and forks in your school, you're purely endorsing, from a state level, fast food, because it's handheld. And yes, by the way, it is fast food. It's sloppy joes, it's burgers, it's wieners, it's pizzas, it's all of that stuff. 10% of what we spend on healthcare, as I said earlier, is on obesity. And it's going to double. We're not teaching our kids. There's no statutory right to teach kids about food, elementary or secondary school, okay? We don't teach kids about food, right? And this is a little clip from an elementary school, which is very common in England. Who knows what this is?
Potatoes.
Potato? So you think these are potatoes? Do you know what that is? Do you know what that is?
Broccoli.
What about this? A good old friend. Do you know what this is, honey?
Celery.
No. What do you think it is, darling?
Onion.
Onion, no. Immediately you get a really clear sense of, do the kids know anything about where food comes from? Who knows what that is?
Pear.
What do you think this is?
I don't know.
If the kids don't know what stuff is, then they will never eat it. Normal. We've got to start teaching our kids about food in schools, period. I want to tell you about something. I want to tell you about something that kind of epitomizes the trouble that we're in, guys. Okay. I want to talk about something so basic as milk. Every kid has the right to milk at school. Your kids will be having milk at school, breakfast and lunch. Right? They'll be having 2 bottles. Okay. And most kids do. But milk ain't good enough anymore because someone at the milk board, right? And don't get me wrong, I support milk. But for some geezer to work out that if you put loads of flavourings and colourings and sugar in milk, right, more kids will drink it. Yeah. And obviously, you know, now that's going to catch on. The Apple board is going to work out that if they make toffee apples, they'll eat more apples as well. Do you know what I mean? For me, there ain't no need to flavour the milk, okay? There's sugar in everything. I know the ins and outs of those ingredients. It's in everything. Even the milk hasn't escaped the kind of modern-day problems. There's our milk. There's our carton. In that is nearly as much sugar as one of your favourite cans of fizzy pop, and they're having 2 a day. So, let me just show you. We've got one kid here having, 8 tablespoons of sugar a day. There's your week. There's your month. And I've took the liberty of putting in just the 5 years of elementary school sugar just from milk. Now, I don't know about you guys, but judging the circumstances, right, any judge in the whole world would look at the statistics and the evidence, and they would find any government of old guilty of child abuse. That's my belief. Now, if I came up here, and I wish I could come up here today, and hang a cure for AIDS or cancer, you'd be fighting and scrambling to get to me. All this bad news is preventable. That's the good news. It's very, very preventable. So let's just think about, we've got a problem here. We need to reboot. Okay, so in my world, what do we need to do? Here's the thing, right? It cannot just come from one source. To reboot and make real, tangible change, so that I can look you in the white of the eyes and say, in 10 years' time, the history of children's lives, happiness, and let's not forget, you're clever if you eat well, you're going to live longer, it will look different, okay? So, supermarkets. Where else do you shop so religiously? Week in, week out. How much money do you spend in your life in a supermarket? Love them. They just sell us what we want, all right. They owe us to put a food ambassador in every major supermarket. They need to help us shop. They need to show us how to cook quick, tasty, seasonal meals for people that are busy. This is not expensive. It is done in some, and it needs to be done across the board in America soon and quick. The big brands, the food brands, need to put food education at the heart of their businesses. I know, easier said than done. It's the future. It's the only way. Fast food. With the fast food industry, it's very competitive. I've had loads of secret papers and dealings with fast food restaurants. I know how they do it. I mean, basically, they've weaned us on to these hits of sugar, salt, and fat, and X, Y, and Z, and everyone loves them, right? So these guys are going to be part of the solution, but we need to get the government to work with all of the fast food purveyors and the restaurant industry, and over a 5, 6, 7 year period, wean us off the extreme amounts of fat, sugar, fat, and all the other non-food ingredients. Now, also, back to the sort of big brands, labelling, I said earlier, is an absolute farce and has got to be sorted. Okay, school. Obviously, in schools, we owe it to them to make sure those 180 days of the year, from that precious age of 4 to 18, 20, 24, whatever, they need to be cooked proper, fresh food from local girls on site, okay? There needs to be a new standard of fresh, proper food for your children. Yeah? Under the circumstances, it's profoundly important that every single American child leaves school knowing how to cook 10 recipes that will save their life. Life skills. That means that they can be students, young parents, and be able to sort of duck and dive around the basics of cooking no matter what recession hits them next time. If you can cook, recession money doesn't matter. If you can cook, time doesn't matter. The workplace, we haven't really talked about it. You know, it's now time for corporate responsibility to really look at what they feed or make available to their staff. The staff are the mums and dads of America's children. Marissa, her father died in her hand. I think she'd be quite happy if corporate America could start feeding their staff properly. Definitely, they shouldn't be left out. Let's go back to the home. Now, look, if we do all this stuff, and we can, it's so achievable. You can care and be commercial, absolutely. But the home needs to start passing on cooking again, for sure. For sure. Pass it on is a philosophy. And for me, it's quite romantic, but it's about if one person teaches 3 people how to cook something, you know, and they teach 3 of their mates, that only has to repeat itself 25 times, and that's the whole population of America. Romantic, yes, but most importantly, it's about trying to get people to realise that every one of your individual efforts makes a difference. We've got to put back what's been lost. Huntington Kitchen. Huntington, where I made this programme, you know, we've got this primetime programme that hopefully will inspire people to really get on this change. I truly believe that change will happen. Huntington Kitchen, I work with a community. I worked in the schools. I found local sustainable funding to get every single school in the area from the junk onto the fresh food. $6.5 grand per school. That's all it takes, $6.5 grand per school. The kitchen is 25 grand a month, okay? This can do 5,000 people a year, which is 10% of their population, and it's people on people. You know, it's local cooks teaching local people. It's free cooking lessons, guys. Free cooking lessons in the main street. This is real tangible change. Real tangible change. Around America, if we just look back now, there's plenty of wonderful things going on. There's plenty of beautiful things going on. There are angels around America doing great things in schools, farm-to-school setups, garden setups, education. There are amazing people doing this already. The problem is they all want to roll out what they're doing to the next school and the next, but there's no cash. We need to recognise the experts and the angels quickly, identify them, and allow them to easily find the resource to keep what they're already doing and doing well. Businesses of America need to support Mrs. Obama to do the things that she wants to do. And look, I know it's weird having an English person standing here before you talking about all this. All I can say is I care. I'm a father, and I love this country. And I believe truly, actually, that if change can be made in this country, beautiful things will happen around the world. If America does it, I believe other people will follow. It's incredibly important. When I was in Huntington, trying to get a few things to work when they weren't, I thought, if I had a magic wand, what would I do? And I thought, you know what? I'd just love to be put in front of some of the most amazing movers and shakers in America. And a month later, Ted phoned me up and gave me this award. I'm here. So my wish. Dyslexic, so I'm a bit slow. My wish is for you to help a strong, sustainable movement to educate every child about, to inspire families to cook again, and to empower people everywhere to fight obesity.
Okay, fellas. So now we'll go ahead and we'll start lesson chapter 2, lessons 1 and 2. Taking charge of your health. Lesson 1, building health skills. All right, health skills are specific tools and strategies to maintain, protect, and improve all aspects of your health. Give me 1 second. Health skills are also called life skills because once you've developed these skills, you can use them throughout your life to stay healthy. List the health skills you will learn in this chapter. You will have opportunities to practice them throughout the rest of the book. 3 health skills. Communication skills. 3 health skills: interpersonal communication, refusal skills, and conflict resolution. Deal with how you give and receive information. Communication is more than just talking. It involves carefully choosing your words and expressions to clearly say what you really mean. It also involves listening closely to others. Interpersonal communication, the exchange of thoughts, feelings, and beliefs between 2 or more people, helps you build strong relationships with others. You can strengthen your interpersonal communication skills by doing the following. Use I messages to express your feelings. Saying I feel upset when I'm left out of our plans focuses on your emotions rather than placing blame. Communicate with respect and caring. Keep your voice calm and use a respectful tone when talking to another person. Be an active listener. Pay attention to what the other person is saying. Let him say what he has to say without interrupting. Try to understand the other person's point of view. You will learn more about interpersonal communication in Chapter 6. Refusal skills. Refusal skills are communication strategies that help you say no when you are urged to take part in behaviors that are unsafe or unhelpful or that go against your values. Someone may ask to ride in a car with a driver who has been drinking, or someone may offer you a cigarette even though you don't smoke. Developing strong refusal skills helps you say no firmly, respectfully, and effectively. Figure 2.2 lists important refusal strategies that will help you the next time a person tries to influence you or engage in an activity that you don't want to do. You may use one or several of these strategies in your refusal. Chapter 8 provides additional information on refusal strategies. Conflict resolution skills. Think of a recent argument you had. How was it resolved? We are all the people involved and satisfied with the outcome. Conflict resolution, the process of ending a conflict through cooperation and problem solving. This health skill can help people resolve problems in ways that are agreeable to everyone involved. Conflict resolution skills include stepping away from an argument, allowing the conflict to subside, using good interpersonal communication skills, and maintaining an attitude of respect for yourself as well as for the other person. Sometimes individuals must make a compromise in order to resolve the conflict. In a compromise, both parties give up something but still gain a desired result. You will learn more about conflict resolution in Chapter 9. Accessing information. Knowing how to find and evaluate information will help you make decisions that benefit your well-being. To decide whether health information is valid, you need to determine the reliability of the group or individual sharing the information. Some valid sources include healthcare providers and professionals, valid internet sites such as those of government agencies and professional health organizations, parents, guardians, and other trusted adults, recently published material written by respected, well-known science and health professionals. Analyzing influences. Do you ever stop and think about why you do the things you do? Many factors can influence our decisions and actions. Figure 2.3 identifies some examples of influences on our behaviors. The more aware you are of the various influences in your life and how they affect you, the better able you are to make informed choices about your health. Self-management means taking charge of your own health. When you manage your behaviors, you act in ways that protect your health and promote your own well-being. There are 2 self-management skills. Practicing helpful behaviors. You practice helpful behaviors when you make good health habits part of your everyday life. Take a look at the checklist shown in Figure 2.4. These positive behaviors can contribute to all aspects of your health. Managing stress. Do you get nervous just before a test? Do you get stage fright? These are signs of stress, the reaction of the body and mind to everyday challenges and demands. Stress is a normal part of life, but too much unrelieved stress can lead to illnesses. That's why it's important to learn stress management skills that help you reduce and manage stress in your life. Exercising, relaxation, and managing time efficiently are some effective ways to manage stress. You will learn more about stress management in Chapter 4. Advocacy. Advocacy lets you share your health knowledge. At the beginning of this unit on pages 2 to 3, you saw pictures of teens participating. This is an example of advocacy, taking action to influence others to address a health-related concern or support a health-related belief. Participating in such activities allows you to encourage others to practice healthful behaviors. You can also advocate for better health by obeying laws that protect community health, sharing information with family and friends, and developing and sending out health messages. Lesson 2, making responsible decisions and setting goals. Decisions, goals, and your health. Now that you're in high school, do you have more freedom than you did when you were younger? Maybe you're allowed to stay out on weekends and have more control over your schedule and activities. You may have a wider circle of friends than you did in middle school. Having more freedom is an exciting benefit of growing up. As you're probably finding out, the freedom you gain as you grow older comes with more responsibility. For example, you may have to make tough decisions. You'll also have to set goals for yourself and plan how to reach them. Making decisions and setting goals means you're taking responsibility and determining your life's purpose and direction. Decision making. Life is filled with decisions. You make plenty of them every day. Some decisions are small, like what to wear to school or what to eat for breakfast. Other choices may be life-changing, like deciding which college to attend or which career to pursue. Developing good decision-making skills will help you make responsible choices that contribute to your health and quality of life. Your values. The decisions you make reflect your personal values and the values of your family. Values are the ideas, beliefs, and attitudes about what is important that help guide the way you live. For example, you may value a strong, healthy body. The decisions you make about how to take care of your body will reflect this value. If you value relationships with family and friends, you will make choices that show your caring and respect. Because you first learned your values from your family, it is often a good idea to talk with your family members about a decision that is troubling you. You share important values with them so they can provide you with the helpful feedback. The decision-making process. Have you ever thought about what actually goes into making a decision? Decision-making skills are steps that enable you to make a helpful decision. Figure 2.7 on page 42 illustrates the 6 steps in making good decisions. Notice that one of the steps involves the help strategy. This strategy includes asking yourself the following questions. H, helpful. Does this choice present any health risks? E, ethical. Does this choice reflect what you value? L, legal. Does this option violate any local, state, or federal laws? P, parent approval. Would your parents or guardians approve of this choice? And here's a little bit of the figure 2.7 steps of the decision-making process. Goal setting. Working towards goals help you achieve your hopes and dreams. How do you see yourself in the future? What would you like to accomplish? What are your hopes and dreams? The answers to these questions form your goals, those things those things you aim for that take planning and work. Whether you reach your goals and how successfully you reach them depends on the plans you make now. Suppose your goal is to go to college. To reach that goal, you'll plan what courses to take in high school so that you'll meet the entrance requirements of the college you choose. You also work hard to earn the grades that you will get in. Just as you set life goals because you have dreams for the future, you also set goals for your health in order to stay well. For instance, you may set a goal to drink more water and fewer soft drinks. To reach this goal, you need to plan how to make water available instead of soda when you're thirsty. You might plan to carry a refillable water bottle in your backpack and to order water instead of soda when you're eating out with friends. Types of goals. Time is a consideration when you're setting goals. How long do you think it will take to reach your goal? A short-term goal, like finishing a term paper by Friday, is a goal that you can reach in a short period of time. A long-term goal is a goal that you plan to reach over an extended period of time. Sometimes short-term goals become stepping stones to long-term goals. For example, making a high school sports team can be a stepping stone to your goal of becoming a professional athlete. Short-term goals. You can accomplish a short-term goal fairly quickly. Let's say your goal is to find and read 3 articles on an assigned topic over the weekend. On Saturday, you search the internet, locate and print out your articles. On Sunday, you read the articles so you're ready to discuss them in class on Monday. Long-term goals. Long-term goals call for more time as well as more planning. If you want to run a 10K, you need to train for several months to build up your endurance and speed. A series of short-term goals can help you achieve this. You can practice running shorter distances until you're able to run a mile in a reasonable time. Then work up to running a 5K. Working short-term goals into the planning of your long-term goals helps you feel good each week as you run faster and farther. Reaching your goals. To reach your goal, you need an action plan. An action plan is a multi-step strategy to achieve your goals You can turn into your dreams into reality by following the steps of figure 2.10. Set a specific, realistic goal and write it down. List the steps you would take to reach your goal. Identify sources of help and support. Set a reasonable time frame for achieving your goal. Evaluate your progress by establishing checkpoints. Reward yourself for achieving your goal. Okay, guys, so what I want you guys to do now is if you have any remaining late work, to turn it in because it'll be due by tomorrow at the end of class, okay? As well as get that chapter review done. That video that we had today, there's a link for it on the assignment, so if you haven't seen it, okay, you can watch it anytime during this week. It's on YouTube, all right? So we're going to work on that, and then I'll let you guys go.